1. Kevin, 14. Michael at 5. We'll bring you into the battlefield as soon as we can here. We have Aether Sphere Harvester, Scrap Heap Scrounger, and Tireless Tracker on Michael's side, but he's at a precarious life total. It's 5, which conveniently is the same size of the Verdurous Gearhulk. For Kevin's side, he's trying to get that last damage across, and looks like Wandering Fumarole is going to try to do it.
Yeah, and Ostroski, no energy in the reserve.
That means no lifelink.
Right.
And it looks like no cards in hand. So a swing from Kevin is going to be a crew, trying to crew the Harvester. Kevin will disallow the triggered ability of crewing.
I like it.
Or the activated ability, correction. Can't counter the triggered abilities, but fortunately it's not one.
And so now Ostroski's options is crew the Harvester, have it be eaten by Gearhulk, or block Fumarole and die to Gearhulk.
Well, he gets one blocker here. It's either Tracker or Harvester, and whoever the blocker is, it has to go in front of Gearhulk?
Yes.
So it's a chump block. And Michael chooses to chump with the Harvester. And Kevin flips Power Toughness on the Fumarole, puts Ostroski to 1. Plays his last land.
And he'll be dead to both attackers next turn.
Dead to both attackers. Land and clue for Ostroski. Remember, Scrap Heap Scrounger is not a blocker, so Michael needs to find something now. Draws a card. Is it a blocker or a kill spell or a something? Yeah, it's another Tireless Tracker.
Okay, that's fine.
Hits with Scrounger, might as well. But no clues in the bank for Ostroski. No, he does have one Hissing Quagmire in his lands. Kevin, Glimmer of Genius. If this finds a removal spell, it's going to be very good. Both scries are to the bottom, however. Saheeli He draws Saheeli Ryan Felidar Guardian. That seems fine. He'll Felidar Guardian. Flickering Blinks.
Gearhulk gets his shock back.
Okay. So he'll just win. Fair enough. I liked the combo, but okay, that wins as well. Kevin Jones gets game number 1 on Michael Ostroski.
Yeah, he had quite a few options for winning that game. Could have Saheeli'd Gearhulk and attacked with both and cast Glimmer.
Sure, sure. I think both the Guardian and the Saheeli were wins there.
Yeah. No time to really mess around. We are down to about 20 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, and that is 1-0 in Kevin's favor.
All right, so these players going into game 2, assuming that this clock is correct, it's going to be tough to actually play this match to completion. This match can go quite long. Green-black aggro has some potential to steal games, so if anybody's going to win 2 fast games, it's going to be Ostroski. Though Kevin does have the combo, so he can win fast games potentially that way. Ostroski's not going to be light on interaction for that. Yeah,
well, black-green aggro is the kind of strategy which generally is pretty good against the combo, right? They can keep enough pressure on it that, you know, running out something like Saheeli Rye or a 1-4 for 4, it's not great.
Walking Ballista's an on-the-board answer to the combo as well.
Yeah, this is a matchup where I'd like Ostroski's deck, but he is down a game. Time's going to be a concern here as well.
Yes.
One thing we're looking at with sideboards here, on Ostroski's side, if he wants to win fast, he's got some more low-end cards. He has Gifted Aetherborn. I guess really he doesn't have too much to make his deck quicker.
He does have some copies of Transgress the Mind on the sideboard. Once you see Kevin's hand, that really informs you on how to play your game. A lot of things that happen with the combo deck is they force you to leave up mana. Once you've seen their hand and exiled a spell, that allows you to make plays. You know, you just play a lot of creatures proactively. You don't have to leave up a removal spell if you know that they're not going to combo you on the next turn. So there's certainly something to that. But yeah, you generally just kind of have to win quick.
A short break here for Kevin. There may be a time extension on the match. While they take care of that, we are going to have, what is it? Star City has our next Grand Prix coming up. It's our chance to play some of these new Aether Revolt cards in the limited format. That's happening in just under 2 months. It's March 24th through 26th. And
on March 24th through the 26th, make plans to be part of Magic the Gathering history when StarCityGames.com proudly presents Grand Prix Orlando. Register by February 24th for the Kaladesh Aether Revolt limited format main event to compete for thousands of dollars in prizes and receive an exclusive playmat featuring Scrapper Champion. Select the 3-day Infinite Challenge package to compete in all challenge events for one low price, while also walking away with the exclusive Scrapper Champion playmat. All Friday challenges are also Grand Prix trials. Come out early and compete for buys in the main event and more chances to claim a Scrapper Champion playmat. Prefer 100-card formats? Register for the Ultimate Commander package to play in 4 Commander on-demand events and take home a Commander vs. Playmat and Ultimate Guard Boulder deck case. And don't forget to come say hello to Grand Prix Orlando's many special guests, including cosplayer Vanessa Martin and an artist alley full of fan favorites, headlined by guest of honor Vulcan Baga. Be part of Magic the Gathering history. Register for Grand Prix Orlando today.
So Grand Prix Orlando coming up, that's going to be March 24th through 26th. You know, Kaladesh Limited, I went out for the last Star City Grand Prix Atlanta. It was like one of my favorite tournaments of 2016. I'm looking forward to 2017 in Orlando.
I played a sealed deck at the pre-release. I had two
So you're ready?
copies. I had two copies of Untethered Express. That
Oh,
was
okay.
that was my deck. Easiest 4-0 of my life. The card is absurd.
I had, what was it? My pre-release. This is gonna really shock you, okay? My pre-release deck. You know, the Treasure Mage guy. He finds any 3-drop, right?
Yep.
Just a 3-mana artifact. Well, I opened a bunch of those blue 3-mana implements that draw you 2 cards.
Okay.
So we played those, and then we opened Glimmer of Genius, and then we also opened Reverse Engineer. So we just have a million card draw spells, and I was fortunate enough to get a Fumigate. So I would win the die roll, and I would just say, draw.
How did you win games?
Did it matter? I don't know. They ran out of cards. Like, we.
No, I'm concerned that you're going to draw your entire deck and not actually be able to close.
You're not going to like this. It's really bad. I had Minister of Inquiries, the 1/2 that mills people.
Ooh.
And as long as we were careful about when we played it and like made sure that we could have an acrobatic maneuver if they tried to kill it, we just have to mill them faster than we draw cards, which was a concern on multiple occasions. But thankfully, normally I would, they'd mill out and I'd have about 3 cards in my deck.
I don't know why you said I wasn't going to like that. That's a delight. How did you do?
We won our matches. We were great.
Nice. Had a lot of combats where I would crew the Untethered Express and my opponent would triple block and I would cast Built to Smash and they'd pick up those 3 cards and then the rest of their cards because they were dead.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think, no, that deck dropped 1 match. I should apologize. 3-1. 3-1. But it's kind of everything I'd like to be doing in Sealed. We just take the draw, played 18 lands.
Yeah, I usually play slower decks in Sealed deck. My pool was pretty light on control stuff and pretty heavy on Untethered Express.
Yeah, I mean, that happens. I get it. Clock at the top is correct. Players have just over 20 minutes for the remaining 2 games. Michael will be on the play here for game 2. Remember, Michael started today at 8-1. On round 9 yesterday, he was the first player to defeat Brennan DeCandio.
Yes.
That was the round 9 feature match. Brennan has not won since. Looking for that 3rd win. For a while there, it looked like a top 8 was in the cards for him. Now we have some drama.
It's an uphill battle. Cedric's hat might be safe yet.
I would worry more about like his stomach. It's just a hat. I don't know. I feel like you can't just eat a hat and have nothing. You might get sick off that,
You would also miss your hat.
It depends if it was a good hat.
It's a Colorado Rockies hat.
The Rockies haven't been that good in a while. All right, my player's ready for game number 2. It's going to be Scrap Heap Scrounger for Ostroski as the first play. Kevin does have cards like Harnessed Lightning at the ready. Doesn't really want to use that, though, on the Scrounger. May try to block instead.
Scrounger, one of Ostroski's better cards in this matchup. Kevin doesn't really have clean answers for that.
Ooh, and this is great. This is our first, I believe, appearance of Lifecrafter's Bestiary.
I've lost to this card. You get to pull ahead on cards by a lot.
Yeah, Kevin will Harness Lightning down. the Scrounger. So Beecher, if you haven't seen it, at the beginning of your upkeep, scry 1. When you cast a creature spell, you may pay green if you do draw a card.
So if Kevin's able to execute the combo quickly, you can make it so that doesn't matter.
Yeah, this thing, if the game goes, 10 turns, this card's amazing.
Exactly. Once we're playing a game that's about card advantage and value, he gets to scry every turn and draw a lot of extra cards just on the table, and Kevin's not going to be able to remove this.
No, it doesn't. He does not have a way to, he has 1 decommission in his sideboard. Now be it, it's going to be Walking Ballista for Michael, and then pays green, draws a card, says go. So Bestiary already replacing itself. It's going to do a lot more, though.
The Ballista gives him protection from getting comboed on this turn as well.
Right, because there's that window when Saheeli Rai copies Felidar Guardian where Saheeli Rai is at 1 loyalty, so the Ballista would take care of it.
I suppose if Kevin had Guardian plus Shock,
that would work.
He would need another red land, though. The ones that he currently has, he can't blink untapped.
Right. Okay, so you'd Guardian, yeah, exile land. If it's a red source, comes back. Shock, then copy. Plays Inspiring Vantage. It's another red source, but as you mentioned, yeah, it's not actually enough here. Kevin does have the Shock in his hand, by the way. So we go to Michael's 5th turn. So there's a fight happening here over the combo, where right now the Ballista is giving Michael anti-combo insurance, but Kevin could take that away.
Yes.
Go to Ostroski's turn. If he can protect himself from the combo, then this Bestiary should win him the game. But that can be hard to do.
Outside of the Ballista, his hand doesn't look like he has much in the way to interact with the combo.
Ballista will attack Saheeli down to 4.
Magic players, I have a special announcement for you today. My friend Angela up on stage today is her 21st.
Looks like he's might go for another Scrap Heap Scrounger. I don't know if he'll pay the green, though. That's a good question here.
Representing both leaving up a Scrap Heap Scrounger activation should another creature hit his graveyard, or Grasp of Darkness to break up the combo if Kevin goes for that.
And I like this from Ostroski. He does not pay the green to draw a card. Something with the Shock there. We'll see.
I think Kevin thought twice about casting it.
Okay. Saheeli Rai will scry again for Kevin after he draws a card.
Looked like the old chest didn't take my hand off it kind of a thing.
Yeah, Kevin just changed his mind. Hadn't declared the spell yet. It doesn't mean Michael knows he has a Shock.
Putting the fear in him.
Yeah. Kevin, 5th land and just passes. Ballista, and this is interesting for Michael. He's going to use it to shoot Saheeli Rai, and then on end step, exile it to Scrap Heap Scrounger.
That'll give him enough power to attack down Saheeli.
Okay, yeah, he could kill Saheeli this turn, were it not for the Shock. Well, he still, with Hissing Quagmire, could make that play. Kevin's hand looks to be land, Torrential Gearhulk, maybe even another land. There's an Anticipate, Harness Lightning, and Shock in the yard for Gearhulk, so it's a pretty good 5/6. But speaking of Gearhulks, Michael plays some of them too. His are the Verdurous kind, and that's going to put a lot of counters on the Scrounger. And interestingly enough, Michael has not gotten around to using this Bestiary very much. He's drawn 1 card off at this game.
Yeah, he's got to manage this Saheeli, right? He doesn't have really a way to deal with the Felidar Guardian. So he's committing a lot of resources to fight that fight, and then he can worry about drawing cards after he's more assured against the combo.
He attacks down the Saheeli, and that hits the graveyard. This does mean on 6 mana, if Kevin has both combo pieces again, he can win the game. But Kevin has neither right now, drawing Disallow for the turn.
He does have a Torrential Gearhulk, which is a 5/6 that can block Scrap Heap Scrounger, cast Harness Lightning with 3 energy already in his pool, and kill the 6/6 Torrential or Verdurous Gearhulk.
Yeah, that Aether Hub draw for the turn was just enough for Kevin to be able to take care of the 6/6.
Though Ostroski has had a Nissa Voice of Zendikar floating around in his hand for a couple of turns here. He can force some action by casting that and minusing it immediately.
Well, how about another Verdurous Gearhulk? Oh my goodness.
Also very good at forcing action.
Yeah, this will certainly force some action. And this time Michael draws a card off the 5-drop.
Might have to disallow this one.
Yeah, Kevin's going to have to think here, you know, does he disallow? And he will. He lets Michael draw the card and then disallows. It's going to take a lot of damage for this, though. A swing of 11 puts Kevin Jones down to 6. Draw from Kevin. Looks to maybe be Felidar Guardian. Halfway to a combo. No, I think actually we're just looking at just Torrential Gearhulk. I don't think we have the 1/4. Just over 13 minutes remain for the players, and it's looking like it's going to come to that. Michael putting the finishing touches on this game, activating Hissing Quagmire. This could just be a lethal swing. Right, ideally, he forces Kevin to use the Gearhulk on a kill spell as opposed to anticipate. If that's true, then Kevin can't just combo. Activates Quagmire, plays Nissa. Looks like he's going to +1 counter, give 1/1 counters for his whole team. Kevin will respond. Torrential Gearhulk. Harness Lightning, killing the 6/6 Verdurous Gearhulk.
Well, now the Scrap Heap Scrounger is lethal.
On its right.
And trades with the Torrential Gearhulk.
Yeah, it's a 6/5, so Kevin has to trade the Scrounger for the Gearhulk. He's still going to take 3 off this Quagmire, so it's not lethal this turn, but it's going to be lethal next turn. As yeah, the 2 artifact creatures do trade, and Kevin drops down to 3. Kevin's last hand, I think just basic land and Aether Hub.
The next round of your event is ready to begin. Please head to table 460.
Draw, there's Felidar Guardian. That's the 1/4. But the Gearhulk didn't survive.
2-headed giant players. The pairings for round 1 are posted. If you haven't
Here's
seen
the
them
Guardian.
yet, please find your pairings for round 1 of 2-headed giant.
Gets an energy off the hub. Flickers that back into play, plays another hub. Now, if Kevin had a creature land, he could keep this Guardian alive. Maybe hope to top deck Saheeli Rai. But I don't think he does. The blue-red land there is a Spire Bluff Canal.
And the red-white land's Inspiring Vantage.
Yeah, activates 1 Hissing Quagmire. Does Michael. I'm interested that Kevin's playing this one out. The clock is quite low for both players. It's going to be Glint Sleeve Siphoner. Michael draws a card. Sure.
If for some reason Ostroski does not make an attack this turn, Kevin is live to top deck and win the game with the Saheeli Rai off the top. It's very unlikely that happens.
Right, Nissa makes a plant. Right, because this Hissing Quagmire at a 3/3 is lethal. You see it swings here, and Kevin, it's a chump block with Felidar Guardian. So now the combo's off the table again. And I believe the only version, yes, Kevin will lose. The only version of the Saheeli deck that can truly combo off an empty board is the 4-color one. Right, they can play Oath into Felidar Guardian into Saheeli if they have 8 mana.
Right.
I don't think on an empty hand Kevin can actually just make his way all the way to the combo, unless he has like a glimmer into each of these.
Yeah, he needs an absurd quantity of mana to make that happen.
Yeah. So Michael Ostroski evens things up with Black-Green Aggro. Just 10 minutes remaining in the round, so we're going to see a fast-paced game number 3 between the 2 players.
At 9-2, a draw wouldn't put them out of top 8, but they definitely want to play this match to completion.
Yeah, it's likely that 11-3-1, at least some number of players with that record will be live for top 8. You don't want to take that gamble because you're not sure that it'll be you, that you're the person who can make it on that record.
Right.
So there's a chance it's a double loss if they take a draw here. Obviously, they'll try to finish it. You see a quick shuffle, not much re-sideboarding for either players either.
Yeah, when we go into game 3, Kevin will be back on the play. That's when he has the highest potential to just steal a game with turn 3 Saheeli, turn 4 Felidar Guardian. Even if he doesn't have it, with even just turn 3 Saheeli, he can make Michael really think about his plays.
quick present for both players. Remember, this is our second open in Standard after the Aether Revolt pre-release. Now, Star City, we had special playmat made for our own pre-release. That was the Panda Noir playmat. We gave it away at the Game Center, and now it is, you can get it as well. The exclusive Creature Collection playmat, the Panda version of the Aether Revolt art, is now available online. StarCityGames.com/Creature Collection.
Pandas are awesome. And arguably bears.
Yeah, we made the claim, may have made a claim yesterday that pandas just weren't bears. They're kind of bears.
What is this we?
Yeah.
I said that pandas are bears.
Well, they're like kind of related to, you know, they diverge at the subfamily level, it turns out, which means they're not, you know, I don't think a panda bear and a grizzly bear, if they met, could talk to each other. You know, brown bears and grizzly bears, those guys hang out, but pandas, you know, it'd be difficult.
Strong claim.
Michael on a 6-card hand. He's on the draw this game. You know, it's like when your dialect gets so different that like you can't really have a conversation. That's definitely going to happen. Winding Constrictor, first creature of the game for Ostroski. For Kevin, it is going to be an Anticipate.
And used his only energy off that Aether Hub to cast it and Anticipate, but it looks like he has found a blue source in his top 3 cards. Picked up Saheeli Rai, though.
Yeah, and because he's on the play, this might be a board where Saheeli Rai is fine. Would be if he had a blue source, but he plays another Inspiring Vantage, so not yet. And Rishkar, this is a big threat from Ostroski. Is it going to work? He's going to try to put 2/1 counters on both creatures. Yeah, it does. Taking 4. Kevin Jones drops to 16.
Yeah, so even if he casts Saheeli, it just dies to that.
This Winding Constrictor card is really good.
Yes.
When you see this play in particular, right? Yeah, I played this 2/3. Okay. How about this 6-power guy for 3 mana?
This is a sort of interaction. It's like this sort of thing you would see in like a pre-constructed deck. Like obviously they want you to play these 2 cards together.
Yeah.
And sometimes it turns out that they're just very good in constructed Magic.
Well, it's so huge. Kevin does take care of the Constrictor with Nahiri, but that means he's going to lose the Planeswalker to Michael's 4/4 Rishkar. So Michael cleans up the board, gets to continue developing with looks like a Transgress the Mind. And now we get to see where Kevin's on. Kevin has not made a blue mana source yet. So he sees a Healy, Felidar Guardian, Glimmer, Gearhulk. Yeah, Kevin could definitely use an island.
Yep. Ostroski takes his only castable.
Yeah, it takes Felidar Guardian. So now we have actually 4 blue cards in Kevin's hand. Felidar Guardian. Blinking Aether Hub. Okay, Kevin has a blue mana.
Yeah, now he can cast Glimmer and get 2 more energy.
Well, if Michael has nothing, he can just jam Saheeli Rai, right?
That too.
And win. Conceive Siphoner for Ostroski. I mean, if Michael's cold, Kevin can just like throw it up there and see if he wins.
Yeah. I'm going to cast this Planeswalker. Who's dead?
I don't know. You got double black up, but
tell me. Just tell me who's dead.
It's kind of bad for Michael that Kevin's hand is so bad, because if Kevin's hand was better, he would not go for Saheeli here. It's right. But Kevin might just be like, wow, things are so bad right now. We're just going for Saheeli.
Well, he's glimmering.
He's going for Glimmer. Because it makes 2 energy, it gets him the blue source back. What Kevin doesn't know is I think Kevin wins with Saheeli right here.
If you can produce blue source negate.
Well, that's better. Right, but like, top, bottom. I mean, I think he's found a blue source. That's got to be priority number 1 on anything he's scrying to the top.
One of the cards was a shock. Not sure if that was the top or the bottom. Looks like it was the bottom.
Yeah, so he'll play a Plains. Pass. I'm really surprised he scryed something to the top that wasn't a blue source.
Blue source or negate.
Yeah, he got a Nahiri. It looks like a Nahiri and a Felidar Guardian were his draws.
Nahiri's a castable. He's still at 12.
Yeah, and so is Guardian, to be fair. Here's a swing from Michael.
Ostroski also can't tap a bunch of mana.
That's true. Another Siphoner. Kevin's at 6. But Ostroski does not have control for the combo. I mean, he's ahead on so many levels, except that Kevin just has this A+B combo. And despite the fact that his deck's really good at answering it, Michael can't right now.
No Walking Blisses on the battlefield. Don't believe he has Grasp of Darkness in his hand.
And like I said before, it's It's bad for Michael that Kevin's hand is so weak here, because it means that the chances that Kevin just throws out the combo gets higher.
That's just the power of 2-card combos.
Yeah. Sometimes you can bluff an answer until you actually draw it.
When you're attacking your opponent and their life total is so low, bluffing doesn't get you anywhere.
It's like right when you bluff, you can't make your bluff play so strong that your opponent is forced to call you. That's a really bad bluff.
Yeah.
You need to give them enough odds that they buy into it, and I don't know.
Kevin definitely doesn't want to go for the combo. He'll feel foolish if he runs into Grasp of Darkness.
But can he win any other way? He's at 6. There's a creature land, 2 menace creatures, a 4/4. Like, I don't know. Kevin's kind of dead. If, he's got to ask himself, does he have any play other than Jam Saheeli Go?
In his mind, he wants to take the line that doesn't just lose to Grasp of Darkness, but if that line is not available and he's just losing to the table, then he just has to combo.
You can tell on Kevin's face, he really doesn't want to play Saheeli here. He has Whirler Virtuoso. He's looking at playing that instead. But like,
pretty light on energy for that one.
Just do it, Kevin. Come on. You got this. You got this. The win is here. He's Virtuoso versus Saheeli. Yeah. All right. Does not. No, it's Whirler Virtuoso. Up to 4 energy. Says go. Just can't get himself to do it. And I don't know. Doesn't this line also lose to Grasp?
He potentially has access to 2 blockers. He could throw a Thopter token in front of Rishkar.
No, you Grasp. Yeah, you'd have to double chump block. That's horrible. He put a thought right because the 2 menace creatures hit. I don't think this line he picked beats Grasp. Oh, I mean,
doesn't he need Grasp plus land to activate Hissing Quagmire?
We could have end-stepped the Grasp if he had it.
Sure.
Yeah, and then he would just attack with the creature land.
Right.
But we'll see. Kevin choosing this line. Verdurous Gearhulk from Ostroski. This is lethal, isn't it? If Kevin has nothing, it's lethal. Or maybe not. No, you can make a Thopter. Yeah, both the menace creatures turn into 4s. So 3 4-power creatures. 2 of them must be blocked.
This attack guarantees that the Guardian has to make a bad block. These are all 4-power creatures.
Kevin makes a Thopter. The good news is that if Kevin has another land, I think if he has Guardian Saheeli in hand, he can just combo all at once. He doesn't have the untapped land. But now that Michael's tapped out, if Kevin draws an untapped land, he's just A-okay. And it's a go. Untapped land wins for Kevin. Everything else loses. Can he do it? Wandering Fumarole. No. No, so close. And he has it, but can't go for the play. Michael Ostroski, less than a minute on the clock. He takes the win over Kevin.
Yeah, and Ostroski navigated that very well.
Yeah.
Leaving up the mana for Grasp, you have it or you don't. You force Kevin to think about it.
Kevin is the kind of player, it's interesting, right? Because this line only works against a player like at Kevin's level a lot of the time. Kevin when Kevin